move it on. We got the next game. We got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Carolina Panthers. Actually, these two teams, very interesting to me because I think the Carolina Panthers are basically running a near identical scheme. I think they're trying to basically do and emulate what the Arizona Cardinals are doing at this point. But Kyler Murray's on a whole other level. Teddy Bridgewater, he needs to step up. I don't think we're going to get there. They're another team, Carolina, that could also, depending on what happens this season, win the Lawrence sweepstakes, although I tend to think they'll win too many games. But let me hit you with the projections here. Kyler Murray's a definite start. I actually think Kenyan Drake gets in the end zone this week. He's going to be a start. DeAndre Hopkins, he's got to be a start every single week. But I actually do not have start grades on any of the other guys, whether it's Isabella, Fitzgerald, name your other wide receiver there, Chase Edmonds either. I don't really like them. For Carolina, Teddy Bridgewater, I do have graded as a start. Mike Davis, I said he was a start last week. I know he's not Christian McCaffrey, but if he can get you 80% of the way, he's worth a start. Found pay dirt in the end zone. I think he can definitely be a start for you this week. Let's see here. DJ Moore, I don't have a great projection on, but I think he's about due to break through. I do have a start grade on Robby Anderson, and I'm staying away from the rest of the Panthers. What do you think, David?
Well, I'll talk about the Arizona Cardinals first. You said you don't like Chase Edmonds this week. I love Chase Edmonds this week, and I think this is going to be the last week you're going to be able to add Chase Edmonds if he's a free agent in your league. You look at the Carolina Panthers, it doesn't take an expert to tell you that they're the number one fantasy matchup for running backs. They were last year. They are again to start this year. Week 1, they allowed 3 touchdowns to Josh Jacobs on the ground. Week 2, they allowed Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones to combine for like 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. This past week, everybody was crazy about Josh Kelly in the matchup. Eckler was the one who performed.
Right.
But again, the running backs tore them apart. Kelly and Eckler combined for over 100 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown. Eckler had 11 receptions for 84 yards. So I think where everyone's going to be going crazy for Kenyan Drake this week, and I think Drake is going to have a good week, I think Chase Edmonds has shown us that he is actually a pretty good running back and that the team likes using him. He has been out-carried by Drake, but he's outproduced Drake as a receiver in, I believe, 2 out of 3 games. He had 2 receptions, 21 yards last week. And I think Edmonds has a good chance of getting into the end zone this week. And when we look at the upside, just what that Arizona Cardinals offense and running back potential is, if Kenyan Drake goes down, I think Chase Edmonds is on like that Tony Pollard level of handcuff right now. So I think he's going to show enough this week where he's going to be a hot claim going into next week.
One of these things, too, I do like Chase Edmonds, and I'm looking through the projections. So I do have, like I mentioned, Drake, and I have DeAndre Hopkins labeled as starts. The next best player, although, like I said, not a start grade, is Chase Edmonds. I have him outscoring every other receiver other than DeAndre Hopkins. I like Chase Edmonds, and if you are familiar with this channel, if you watched this last year, I said, running backs to grab. If you're in a dynasty league, you got to pick this guy up if he's available for you. Because Kenyan Drake, I believe he's on essentially a 1 year. I think he got transition tagged or something like that. Drake could be gone. And I do think that this offense does spread the ball around a little bit more. So I don't see why the Cardinals, in terms of just organizational talent, I don't see why they would invest in a running back when it looks like they can plug a running back in there elsewhere and be successful. I do think if Drake goes down, Edmonds would be able to pick up the slack and have a great season too. So I am definitely in favor. I am pro Edmonds. I don't have him projected as a touchdown guy this week in terms of Rockobot, but that doesn't mean he's not a good player from my point of view either. So David, you and I agree. You like him to get in the end zone. I don't, and that's the difference there. Carolina, yeah, I mean, they got some holes to fix, but we knew that coming into the season. This isn't, and it isn't anything surprising other than Christian McCaffrey going down.
For me, it is. Anybody who follows me knows I was in on Teddy Bridgewater.
That's true.
I didn't see how this offense could be worse with Teddy Bridgewater than with 14 games of Kyle Allen and Will Grier. But so far, statistically, they really haven't been any better. And obviously, Christian McCaffrey, the loss of him has something to do with that. But they didn't look very good in the first 2 weeks either. DJ Moore has got to be a major concern right now because he's not even the number 1 wide receiver from a reception and yardage point right now, and he's never been a touchdown guy. So I think DJ Moore, I'm concerned. I'm be looking to sell him after he has a big game because I would like to try and turn him into a legitimate wide receiver 1 who's not going to score 3 total touchdowns on the year.
I see it a little bit different with DJ Moore. I think what's happening is defenses are, I mean, they know he's the threat there. They know he's the go-to. And so at Carolina, in my mind, when I watch the games, what I see is Robby Anderson is kind of feasting on softer coverages. And when teams start to counter that, and this is what I think happened with the Los Angeles Rams and Buffalo Bills regarding Tyler Higbee. Buffalo tried to take Tyler Higbee away. Well, wouldn't you know it, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp had more room. They both took underneath routes to the house, rushing yard, because everybody was keying in on the middle of the field. I think the same thing could be happening in Carolina. So, I mean, I'm a little bit more glass half full. I would be a buyer on him depending on the price. What I would do in terms of fantasy is wait for an owner that was desperate. And I think what you're saying is if you can find a good deal for him, move. I don't argue that. But if somebody's panicking in your league, you know, if you're with a newbie or something like that and they have DJ Moore, they drafted him high and they're like, screw it, I got to get something for him, and you're not giving up that much, I'm a buyer on him. So it all depends on price with this. But, you know, I think it could be better once defenses kind of turn around. But Bridgewater's got to be more efficient. That's my concern is, and like you, I mean, kind of missed on that. I thought Bridgewater would be more efficient, and he's just not at this point. So we got to get it. With that said, let me hit you with the line here. Bovada has Arizona -4 versus the Carolina Panthers.
Give me Arizona. They're a hot offense right now. Panthers are missing Christian McCaffrey. They looked terrible last week against the Buccaneers. I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in the Panthers right now. Or against the Chargers, I should say, last week.
Yeah, when I set this line, I thought Arizona -4. I literally the line hit on the head. I'm going to take Arizona though. I think Arizona bounces back. I thought that this was going to be a tougher game for Detroit than a lot of people thought it would be. You know, getting Galladay back helps Detroit. They played last year. I didn't think Murray was going to have an awful game, and he didn't. But he didn't have the game up to his expectations and the fans' expectations. I think they bounced back this week. And you're right. I mean, Carolina not being able to stop the run. You can basically, if you can run the ball, even if you're a pass-first team like Arizona is, if you can run the ball, you do whatever the heck you want all game. So I'll take Arizona as well.